Thanks everybody for watching the other videos and the comments. I really appreciate the interest in this particular bike. Now, I did a couple of videos earlier on last few weeks, or last few days, sorry, and I just gave some of my thoughts and my opinions. But today I've just gone for a bit of a short ride in the afternoon down by the lake at Lake Hume, and some of you might know this road. I just passed the Granier turnoff, but I just wanted to talk about the modifications that I've already done with the bike and how it affects the bike, and you know, the plus and minuses of it all. Now, I've complained heavily about this spring on this bike, the back suspension, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'll just talk about the first modification that I've done on the bike, which is not bad actually. It's I got the lower seat. Initially I didn't like it. It is a bit harder. It's firmer. There's less padding on it, but you get used to it after a while. So I think it actually looks better than the original. But the original is more comfortable, but it is higher. Now, one of the things I hated about this bike too as well was the pegs, the foot pegs. Now, if you have a look at these are actually off a Honda. Now, I tried a few different types of pegs, but I couldn't get them to fit. So I had to modify these ones by just filing down a bit of the edges where they wouldn't move. But as you can see, these are a lot smaller, whereas before you had those big clunkers, those big things, and you just couldn't squeeze your foot in there in that gap. So this has made a huge difference for me. It's a bit of takes a bit of getting used to, but yeah, nevertheless it is better for me. Now I'll just show you what I'm talking about when it comes to the suspension. All right, so this is the back suspension. Now there's the what do you call them, the threads, and to get to that you've got to pull all this panel out, even loosen this one, and you know, hope for the best. And it's a pain in the ass because trying to get the suspension right is really critical. But in this case, it's been a bit of a well, what's the word? Like, I got back from a ride at Jindabyne, and I just thought I'd tighten up the suspension and get it back to a little bit firmer. But in actual fact, I'm going to have to drop the, as you can see here, the damping. I'll probably have to drop the damping a bit more as well, because the bike is just a few minor adjustments, and the bike has just changed totally. It's so much more twitchier at the moment. It is really, what's the word? Really gone so twitchy. I mean, what I did, I actually increased the tyre pressures. I had a look at these CSTs, and the maximum's 42 psi, which I thought, okay, I'll put 38 on the back and 35 on the front. But looking now, I'm going to have to drop that down a couple of psi's at least when I get back home, because the bike is just so jumpy. It's just so much harder. So this thing here, I would prefer this was a thicker spring that you don't have to wind up as much. The more you wind it up, the twitchier it becomes. I don't know, maybe it's just me and my weight because I'm a lot heavier. Maybe a lighter person it won't affect as much, but I find this spring, for my liking, it's too light. It should be thicker, and you won't have to wind it down as much, and it'll just be a bit more compliant when you go over bumps. So yeah, the sound on this thing is mean. It's a beautiful twin cylinder sound. It doesn't sound smooth. It sounds like a lumpy V-twin more than just a parallel twin. But you can see overall the bike's great, handles well. But in this case, let me just get up. Sorry guys. Opa, yeah. Okay, I've talked about the crash bars. They do work. I love these crash bars because you can mount your 360, your Insta 360 off there, and even these pannier brackets at the back that came with it. You can mount your cameras on there, whatever. Overall, the bike looks great, handles well. But I've finding it this time around, after a few adjustments, light adjustments, it's made a massive difference to the way the bike behaves. So I don't know, just have to get used to it, I guess. The other thing too I've included is the phone holders. I don't know, overseas, if you're familiar with the Quadlocks, the Quadlock system's really good. Let me just go around here. Once it locks in place, it just does not move. I'll just see if I can see that. It does not move. Now on that Quadlock there, I've got that vibration damper as well, so it just protects your phone. yeah, that's pretty much it. I actually can't believe the difference a few extra PSIs in the tyres made on the front end, the handling of the front end. I just can't believe, you know, I was only up this road a few days ago, and I think I was running 30 at the front, 36 at the back, and it was a much more softer ride. But now it is just so harsh, so harsh. I'm tempted, once I get off camera, I might even drop a bit off the front, and even turn down a little bit on the damping. I might do that. But anyway, that's my thoughts anyway on the bike. Overall, look, I like it, I love it. I don't know if I love it, I like it a lot. I think it's a great bike. It's got a lot of pluses. It's just a few little tweaks like anything you've got to get used to, I guess. But fairing works well. Again, this little cowl here, gentleman, actually I forget his name, David I believe, from I think he's from France, I believe. This little thing here behind here comes, it makes a bit of a vibration noise, so it has to be adjusted. But apart from that, look, they're just minor things. The only major thing is the back suspension for me that I'm not impressed with. But everything else, I love it. I really like the feel of the bike, the handling of it. You know, adjusting the tires and all that, that's nothing. I can do that. You know, that's not an issue. But suspension wise, I would like easier access to the back shock. Anyway guys, that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching guys. If you've got any comments or any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. But share the video, subscribe if you like. I'll be putting more up, and thumbs up would be really appreciated. I'm trying to grow this channel with the CFmoto, the bike, and I believe the 650 is almost identical anyway. They have similar issues, I believe. I had a few comments as well. So from 650 owners, I think they're pretty much almost identical bike, bar the size of the motor. So interesting to hear your comments. Thanks, mate. Alright, I'm just heading home from the last talk I had. I'm just heading back to Albury from the ride, and I just had a, oh look at the grasshopper on the fork, look at that grasshopper. Anyway, I start again, Chris. I just thought I'd stop and just let you know how I went with the just those things I was complaining about before. I was complaining about the bike being a bit too jumpy and too stiff and whatnot. So I backed off a little bit of air pressure off the front end, because it went to, I put it from 30 to 35, which was a big jump, and it made a huge difference, right? So what I did also was if I come around the back here, I'll just show you the back shock. On the back shock here, this is the damping, right? Now when I loosened the spring, when I unwound these lock nuts here, I actually I put the damping right up, okay? Just about almost like you just turn this little thing with a flathead screwdriver, you just turn it to the right and you can just feel the clicks, right? So I did it almost all the way, and I had a loose spring and a tight damping, if that's probably the easiest way to describe it. So now because I felt such a rigid bike, I actually backed off this damping a whole full clicks, right? So I went one click and then two clicks. That makes a full circle. And I can tell you, you'll see by the riding, immediate difference, and the bike was a lot better to you know, ride it a bit faster. But unfortunately the sun is going down, and I was blinded around the corner, so I couldn't go much faster. But yeah, big difference when the sun's in your eyes. You can't risk it. Now again, I don't know if you saw the these little pegs that I put on, the Honda ones instead of the original ones. I don't like the original ones, they're too bulky. And yeah, big difference on the bike, the handling and everything. So when I go back home, I'll probably drop the tire pressures to about 33 to 36 or 37 on the back. 42 is the maximum, it says on the sidewall, but definitely don't want to be anywhere near that, otherwise forget it. So I'd say probably 33 at the front, 36 or 37 at the back, and that's plenty. I think that'll do the job. Now the sun's going down, you can see, so it's not a good time to be riding. I don't know if you saw, the rabbits are out and the animals start coming out now, and in Australia the kangaroos start coming out now, and certain places you'll especially the farms, if you get a bunch of kangaroos, you're in trouble. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest you ride when the sun's going down and the sun's coming up. It's not a good time to drive or ride. Most people will tell you that if you live in Australia, especially when you're out regional meaning out of the cities, for your own safety, it's probably a good time to go home. So I was going to stop and put fuel. I'm nearly out of fuel, but I'm home's close. I'll just head home and worry about the fuel later, I think. But yeah, big difference. It's amazing, a small tweak on the suspension and a small tweak on the air pressure can make an incredibly large difference on the handling of a motorcycle. So I am pretty happy overall, very happy with the way the bike's going. I'm getting better as it, I'm probably getting better adjusted to the bike as time goes on. I hope you find this useful. I hope this information is useful to you guys. If it is, please give us a thumbs up, and you know, if you want to subscribe, that'll be great too. Hopefully we can grow this channel with more info on this bike as we go along. And like I said earlier too, the 650 MT is pretty much identical bikes. Chassis, running gear, brakes and everything else, they're almost identical. Again, I don't know why they put those big clunky pegs on the front. If you can see here, like look at my shoe right now. Can you imagine having a big clunky foot peg there? You can barely get your foot in the gear lever, so not good at all. So I'm glad I was able to find something and retrofit it onto the bike. But you know what, the more you tweak, the more you start to like the thing. And yeah, like I said earlier too, it's on the other videos, overall it's a great bike. And when I brought this this seat, I sat on it and I thought, oh my goodness, it's like a plank. And compared to the original, it is, but as you ride it, you do get used to it. It's not that bad. Also, I've ordered a rack that fits on the back from CFmoto via my local dealer. I'm waiting for that so I can put a top box on this, because I'm sick of carrying bags over my shoulder and putting stuff on me in my pockets. I want to get a top box and put my camera gear and all the rest in there, and my drink bottle. So that's on the way. But yeah, hope you enjoy, guys, and look at that beautiful sunset. This is at the Albury Airport, if you're wondering where I am. Beautiful. Sun's going down, animals are coming out. Time for this old boy to go home. Later everyone, the road awaits.